On the Couch with Ando with John Cunningham. John, can you believe I've got my own segment called On the Couch with Ando? But before we start drilling you, the segment's brought to you by Rachel Laurie from Ray White, North Adelaide. I know Rachel, she's a great supporter of local sports in the area, that's for sure. Right. So thanks to Rachel. John, I was chatting before, from Geelong into Nord, but tell us about the experience of being drafted. Was it your favourite club? Was it the club that you wanted to go to? Or was it, wow, I got drafted?
Well, it was. I grew up in Melbourne. Dad was a member of Hawthorn's first premiership team, so I was actually came through the junior ranks at Hawthorn. So like 15s, 17s, under 19s. Yeah. And then in Victoria at that time, they got rid of all the under 19 teams of the Victorian clubs, and they started up the new under 18 competition. So I sort of got caught up in that system. I played Teal Cup in '91, which was like Scotty West era and all that, Mark McCurry, and so it's quite a talented year. But I was a bit smaller, and so then I played Northern Knights in under 18s, so the first year of that competition.
Oh, okay, yeah. So can I ask you, the Teal Cup, did you have the metro and the countryside back at the did? Yeah.
So we played up in Darwin. It was up in Darwin, the competition, and South Australia actually won the comp.
Right?
They knocked us off in the final. So they had quite a talented. They had Benny Hart and and Rue and so a fair few stars at the time. So it was that was the system that it was just a change in the guard, I suppose, of how footy development was. And I played half a season with Port Melbourne under Damien Drum, who was a former Geelong player, and got drafted in the '93 half-year in the June draft. So. And then all of a sudden I was at the Cats.
It would have been exciting.
Yeah, it was. Geelong was amazing. It was big names.
Oh, big names.
Gary Ablett and Paul Couch and Barry Stoneham and Billy Brownless and Bairstow, Hoggett. So it was just everywhere you looked when you walked in the place, there was
household names.
Yeah, superstars. So it was a great place to be as a young player. So
your first game would have been special for Geelong.
It took a while.
It took a while. Okay.
I nearly got a game the first few weeks, actually. I came down with some good form and played the first three in the reserves and was in really good form. And I had a meeting with Blighty, and that was all intimidating. And as a 19-year-old, and if you had your time again, I would have said, "Yep, ready to go. Pick me." But so it took me another 2 years to get the game. But it was just such a strong list, and they didn't have many injuries at the time. They played in the grand final in '94, and then
powerful club.
Another one in '95, and so for a young guy trying to break in, it was
first game was against.
We played at Cardinia Park against Fitzroy.
Well, at least it was at home, so that was good.
That was
good. Something pretty special.
I didn't get on until halfway through the third quarter. Ayresy sat me on the bench for a fair while, and then so I got on and had a bit of a go. Then the next week we played Footscray at Western Oval, who. Both those were on the lower end of the ladder at the time, and we won both games quite easily. And then Buddha Hocking came back from injury after that, and then I made
then you're back in
made way for him.
Yeah, that's it. I've got to. I mean, you touched on your dad. 1961. Premiership for Hawthorn. Wow. So he would have played with some unbelievable players, and what a great era of football.
It was amazing. They had 107,000 people at the G in '61. Teddy Whitten was captain of the Bulldogs.
The opposition side, of course. 107,000 people.
Brendan Edwards was the star for Hawthorn, and John Kennedy, the famous coach, was the coach of Hawthorn. So there's
no more famous than there's Kevin Sheedy, but you look at John Kennedy is the one. It was when I went to a function and Dave Parkin was speaking, and of course he was a famous coach for Carlton, and he had finished his football at Hawthorn. The following year he became an assistant coach at Hawthorn to John Kennedy. And a few of the players were saying, "Look, Dave, can you get into John's ear, because all we seem to be doing is circle work, going around and around and around and around." And so Dave got the courage up and said, "Look, John, everyone's sort of complaining about the training a bit. We're just doing circle work, we're going around and we're going around and around." So he said, to John's credit, he thought about what I'd said, and he goes, "Put all the players in." He goes, "Okay, well, we're doing the circle work, and you're sick of going around. What we'll do, we'll just circle it. We're going to go the other way. We're going to go the other way. And if you think about footy today, that's what happens. It goes down one side, switches plays, and it goes around, and then it goes that side, switches plays. So to be able to be said that you've been, you're coached by the great John Kennedy. What it must have been for your dad and your family.
It was. They were very. My dad was only 20 at the time. It was his 5th game of league footy. So big moment. One of those just a moment in time where he was
5th game league football, 107,000 people.
And in those days, they had to pick the starting 18, and that was the team.
Of course,
the 2 on the bench were just there in case someone
just in case
was injured. So to actually get picked on the ground
starting 18 would be absolutely
was a big effort, and I think he kicked 1 goal, 4, and had 20 odd possessions, and so he did it right.
Just a lazy premiership player, the old man.
Growing up, obviously, to play on the G was a bit of a drag. I got to play on the G a few times. Which was great, but as you would know, it's a great place to play.
It's a great place. You've also played on Adelaide Oval, like myself, and that also is a great place. So we're pretty lucky, aren't we? We are. You've made Adelaide your home, which is fantastic. So, did you think when you came over to play for Nord, and you played well over 100 games, and and played in grand finals, and had a wonderful career at Nord? Did you think you were going to go back to Melbourne?
Well, initially, when I got to this from Geelong, I sort of felt I'd been a bit sort of cut, early than without being given enough opportunity. So when I came over here, I suppose my thought process was to really have a crack at trying to get back on a list. So I didn't really come here with the vision of I was going to be here forever, but just through circumstance. You meet some great people, and I had a lot of mates who come over from Victoria as well who are still here too. So it was just a great time in life to maybe make a move, and Nord was a great club. They really took us in, and we met some great people who welcomed you into their homes, and used to go around once a week for a meal, and so that was great.
And what about state football, the local league state football? Were you eligible for South Australia, or?
Well, it's interesting you say that, when my first year, '96, we weren't allowed to play for the state because we were. First year out of the AFL system.
I knew there was
which at the time I felt a bit disappointed with, because I came over trying to get redrafted, and then there I was not allowed to
play state footy, which is the next level.
Which was to give you some bit of exposure to recruiters, and so it was a bit of a. I don't know. I found that bemusing a little bit, but that
makes sense. But
that was the system at the time, and it was a week off.
But were you then eligible to play state footy?
So 97 I was injured, so I missed that year, and then 98 I was fortunate enough to play for South Australia, which was fantastic. We played against WA at Footy Park, and it was that's one of my great memories of
But that's brilliant. To come from Victoria, and to make South Australia your home, you made Nord. You're a household name at Nord, and then the next step is, hey, I've played state footy as well.
Yeah, it was really playing Footy Park.
You would have never thought that in Darwin. You would have never thought that in
Darwin. Pull on the SA Guernsey, but we had a lot of pride in the team we were playing for, and
it is the best Guernsey too, by the way. So you agree with me now?
I don't know where it is actually. I think it's at home. I think Dad's got it. So, it was. It's a great one of those things. You when you end up in a certain competition, if you can play at the highest level and play against other guys from other states, and that as you would know.
You mentioned your knee. Did it put you out of the business for a little while? Was it more?
Yeah, so I had a full knee reco at the start of the '97 season. So I was under the pump a little bit with whether I could get back towards the end of the season, but the surgeon sort of said that the rest of my knee was fine. I just sort of snapped the anterior. So I decided to have a crack, and fortunately forced my way back in.
Touch wood, and everything happened.
So
and now, look, obviously, you're coaching the Rams, the Galunga Rams. Is that something new? You've always dabbled in a bit of coaching. Yeah,
well, I coached a little bit after I finished at Norwood with Pembroke Old Scholars in the Amateur League, which I really did enjoy. And then we, through young family, and we bought a business, and just circumstance, you fall out of it. And then through circumstance again, I've fallen back into it with we've got twin girls who started playing girls footy about 3 years ago with the under-12s at Glenunga. So
And how are they going?
they're going well.
They shone a little bit of
they're going all right.
JC sort of style.
Yeah, there's two of them that are so they're identical twins, so they've got different styles the way they play, but they've just haven't quite learnt yet that they could actually be a good team. They tend to want to have a go at each other about where they're at in the field. But
does the coach get the best players right though?
Well, that's always a contentious
you know what?
issue.
I think that daughter should have been best player. Probably not that daughter. You might have.
Sometimes just leave them out.
Because I reckon, I always say this, because Dave Brenville used to have, it's very similar to the head of mine. I reckon I used to get some of his stats. Anyway.
Oh, Ando. You were good with the votes, Ando. You always got lots of votes, Ando. I remember plenty of votes.
Thanks very much for joining us. Absolutely brilliant. You've made yourself a household name here in South Australia. Just a wonderful player for North and South Australia. What a career move, and to be so successful, mate. Well done.
Thanks, Ando.
Fantastic.
Pleasure. Cheers, mate.
Back after the break.
Cheers.